There's a troubling rumor about the Z Fold 7 that has me concerned, and I hope it doesn't come true. So, been a lot of leaks, a lot of rumors about the Z Fold 7. It's probably going to be here about July. So, we're basically about 2 months away, which means that we're going to start seeing a lot of stuff. I believe there's some leaked images out there. There's a lot of new information coming out. And as it gets closer and closer, typically it's more accurate. Like if I hear something 6 months out, like okay, I don't worry about it too much. But this close to when the phone comes out is kind of troubling. So what am I talking about? There's word on the street that the Z Fold 7 might not have S Pen support. And that's something that's really concerning to me because I love the S Pen on the Z Fold 6 and I love foldable phones. I've covered many of them. I've got a lot of them personally, and over the years, I've had every single one of the Z Folds since the first one. And if you go back to the original days, like the Z Fold 1 and 2 didn't have an S Pen. Like you couldn't use an S Pen with it. It wasn't until the Z Fold 3 that came out. But it also wasn't until the Z Fold 3 that it really stuck with me because I feel like if you have a foldable phone, you have a phone that's this big, that has this big screen, that you should have a stylus. And that's one of the reasons why I stick with the Z Fold over, say, the Oppo Find N5, or like the Pixel Fold, the Pixel 9 Pro Fold, or even like the OnePlus Open. Like those are really good phones. But for me, I use the S Pen a lot whenever it comes to my Z Fold 6, Z Fold 5, whenever I use them. Granted, I've been testing a lot of other phones lately. I haven't been able to use my Z Fold like I want to, but I've been excited about the Z Fold 7 because all roads that lead to Rome point to it being thinner, having a larger screen. We've seen the roadmap for this when it comes to the Z Fold SE that came out last year. And what did they do? They finally made a Z Fold with a bigger screen. They made it thinner, but the problem is when they make it thinner, they don't have room for the digitizer that allows you to use the S Pen with the screen. So if these rumors come true, if these leaks and all this information that come out are accurate, then it looks like Samsung is opting to do something similar to what they did with the Edge, which is to make the phone much thinner. It seems like the way of the world right now with these foldable phones, and we've seen it. I mean, when you take a look at the Oppo Find N5, this sucker is thin. Like it is crazy, crazy, crazy thin. And I guess Samsung wants to keep up with the Benjamins because if you see the Z Fold 6, it's not particularly thin. Like it's not. So, I mean it is, but it's not in the realm of like, okay, the Oppo Find N5 is a much thinner phone. So it seems like the plan here, if it's true, is that they want to make a thinner, larger Z Fold to where it'll have the largest screen, I think, at least that's what's reported, and then also the thinnest, or at least much thinner than this, and that would be at the sacrifice of the S Pen. And I think the S Pen is really important, and we've already seen features that have been taken away this year, like with the S25 Ultra, they took away the Bluetooth functionality with the S Pen. Well, we already know that the Z Fold has a dumb S Pen. Like I used to call the S Pen with the Ultra series a smart one because it had Bluetooth features. You could use the button for a remote shutter. You could do the air gestures. You could do all sorts of stuff. You can't do any of that anymore. Well, that's not been a problem with the Z Fold because it's had a dumb S Pen since the dawn of time. But it would be troubling to me if they went ahead and they basically eliminated that completely because I feel like it's a really important part of the design when it comes to the phone. Whenever I use, like, I don't use the S Pen a lot with the Ultra series phone, but I use it a ton with my Z Fold. Like, if my phone is open, I'm using the S Pen. And it's been frustrating to me because I've always wanted them to put S Pen support on the front screen because I'll have my S Pen out and then I'll close the screen. I'm like, all right, I would like to still continue using it on the front screen. But if they take it away completely, I really feel like this would be a tremendous turnoff. I feel like it would be a bad thing. I don't think that this would be a good thing. And I think that it would probably push away customers at a time when they need to sell more phones. Because the Z Fold 6 was not particularly well received. A lot of people consider it not really much of an upgrade. In reality, not a whole lot changed from the Z Fold 6, from the Z Fold 5, from the Z Fold 4. People have been asking and looking for change in the foldable phone department, especially when you're paying $1,899 for a phone. We should be expanding features, not taking them away. So that's a concern that I have, and it's something that I hope doesn't come true. But as we get closer and closer to launch date, it makes me more and more concerned that it's going to be a reality, and I sincerely hope not. And then there's this word on the street like we might be seeing the trifold phone that coming out, that might also be announced or shown off, kind of like they did with the Edge. I don't think it'll launch with the Fold. My guess is that if they might show it off, they might do like an Apple one more thing at the end of the event, and then maybe it comes out in like October or something. That would be something I could see realistically happening, but I wonder what the price of that would even be, because we've seen like the Huawei Mate XT is like a $3,000 phone. Like we're in a time where money is harder to come by than ever. What's the prospect of like a $3,000 phone? Like, would you buy a phone that expensive? I'd love to have some discussion about this. Like, go in the comment section. Would you want a phone that folds 3 times, not just 2 times, basically is the size of a tablet? And let's say, just for prosperity's sake, let's say it costs 3 grand, or let's say it costs 25.99 or something like that. Would you pay that much money for a phone? I would have a really hard time paying that much money for a phone. I mean, it's cool, but you'd have to finance that sucker for like 6 years. Like that, that'd be an expensive phone payment, right? Like that's something that would be very expensive. But I'm curious to see where they go. There's also talk about making the back plate on the Z Fold out of titanium. That would make it lighter. I know they're trying to make it lighter and thinner, and I'm cool. Like that's fine with me if they make this lighter and thinner. But do not take away the S Pen. Like, please do not take away the S Pen. And that's the only thing really that's kind of kept me gravitated to this design. If there's no S Pen, shoot, I'm going to use the Oppo Find N5. The Find N5 is an amazing phone. It's got a bigger screen, super light, big battery, all those crazy things. Like, they're pushing the envelope in a lot of ways. But what's really tied me in here is One UI, the multitasking, and also the S Pen. Like, those really the big things, because they've had the same cameras for a long time. The batteries stayed the same for a long time. Like, there hasn't been a whole lot of innovation with this phone in quite a few years. So if they take away the S Pen, that's going to make it a lot easier for people to look elsewhere. That would make the Pixel 9 Pro Fold much more attractive. That would make the Oppo Find N5 more attractive. That would make other phones more considerable to people, because it takes away the one thing that really makes, I think, the Z Fold special. And I think that's more special than making the phone super thin. So that's all I got in this video. If you have any questions, comments, gripes, concerns, complaints, all that stuff, please, of course, go to the comment section. I'll do my best to get back with you. I would love to get your feedback on this. I know some people don't use the S Pen. They don't care about it whenever it comes to phones. Do you use the S Pen with your Z Fold phone? Or if there was no Z Fold, like if there was no S Pen, would that keep you from wanting to get a Samsung Z Fold phone? Or just the prospect of having a US available foldable phone that's super thin, super light, and super big, would that overcome that for you? So sound off in the comments. Let's talk about it. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like and the subscribe button and the little notification bell if you want updates when new videos come out. And as always, thanks for being here. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you guys next time.